Your home falls down. When it all, the home falls down. They shackled us in chains and crowded us in ships and sent us to a foreign land who left them for goods. And with the pressure of Jim Crow, they wonder why so many of us live in poverty in the hoods. Now, stop me if I begin to sound crazy, but they sat on porches and rocking chairs as our ancestors built this country on their backs, and yet they call us slaves. Now, we live in a society where kids go to school every day and I learn one thing, where LeBron James is king and that's the MLK. Some have no idea about his goals, not to mention his dreams. I have to explain to my white friends how they'll never understand what it's like to be inside of my skin. And how it's not them, but their ancestors' choices. To hear the joys of capital gains over the cries of black voices, and how they can take their apologies back because it's not their fault that I was born black. And we like to think that our president was heaven sent, and that a black-headed state came just a little too late, that we made it to the top of no cloud. But listening to our accomplishments just won't get it. So we must begin to question, what now? I wish I lived in the land of cotton, old times there are not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away, this is land. And you ask, why do I know this brand of salute to the troops in our land who fought so hard and so strong to preserve those twisted values that we hold so dear and so true? Well, my father was forced to learn this backwards tune in grade school. So instead of keeping this truth to himself, he taught it to me, so that I would be able to see underneath the subliminal hypocrisies of what I see on TV and magazines. Brainwashing baby beauty queens, making them believe that their hair is bad and ugly just because they were born with a little curl, nap, and kink. Exploring the bodies of black women on BET, confusing the minds of our kids, making them believe that the entire being of themselves is for baby making. So when teens come home to their folks crying subliminal geisha tears, it's because they caught all of the diseases. Poverty, violence, HIV, self-hating, creating boundaries that we need to be broken to move on, placing strain and weights on brains that cause misplaced minds. We need to really examine these times that aren't forgotten. Whether now nigga will never be endearing. And niggas rolling through the South at night is always a preparation for a fight. Living in this society with blinding tendencies, never freeing of the stereotype that places pipes to our dreams, never seeing the opportunity to take that pipe and bust through walls, to change the fate of the black race in this nation, never expecting less than what's fair, taking that pipe and writing your own history books that shows where your dream came into fruition, despite of tribulations. Henry Louis Gates like, paving the foundation for his own scholastic gates that trace your ancestry back to the basis from which you came. Never accepting the racist chains that they try to place on our hands and our wrists, to place us back into slavery bondage, seeking homage in libraries to liberate our minds, seeking freedom. From those who find it hard that a black man has a job and an automobile that doesn't spell out hoopty, shot in his own damn driveway to save his mother from the prejudice and sanities of the police. Mad because they can't believe their eyes when a black man in Texas doesn't drive a 92 Duster but a nice SUV. This is the reason being Robbie Tolan can no longer hope for a baseball career like his father Bobby. Critically paralyzed with racial profiling, but lying trying to blind all society. Singing Dixie in the South, which is marked by anything south of the Canadian border. And yes, I remember Emmett Till, when civil rights leaders were killed and when Angela went to jail. And yes, I remember when Obama became commander-in-chief, getting rid of most negativity. And now, the Confederacy reaps what's been sold, and its crop reflects the image of you and me. And I'm breaking chains in Dixie. I'm free. I'm free. It's almost been 150 years to slavery. Look at me. Look at me. I'm free and I'm in Dixie. We are so caught up in trivial, discussing how many times the latest single drop used the words nigga, hoe, and bitch. But truthfully, as a race, we're facing some way more important statistics. Black on brown or black on white, any way you color it, none of it's right. It's all crime. And the fact that at the age of 21 and 9 and doing time is enough for us to all to want to cry for our black men. That's almost a tenth. A tenth that wouldn't listen to their mother's form, but now can only watch their mother's mourn. Now their sexual orientation, religious denomination, and ethnic classification has been reduced to nothing more than gang affiliation and self-application. And so probably the tenth, here's a percentage. The percentage of black boys not graduating. The number's 53. And without being a mathematician, I know that that's the majority. Yet these social constructs which have been long constructed, mixed with the cool, these young minds corrupted. So in their world, forget degree seeking and peacekeeping, when I can barely keep food on my table. And we call them lost cause and pass them off with these labels, but in reality, many blacks will never be able to achieve the American dream because without an example, it's nothing more than a fable. And while doing the only thing they know to do, the only way to gain profit, we interject with our education, dressed in the business to expect them to stop it. We've got to teach early on that killing and drug dealing are not the only ways to garner respect. We must begin to question what's next. We perpetuate the problems that plague our own people. Hell, they'd rather use Splendor than to make us their equal. And it's still right at the beginning. It's one of the The soul for black folk resound in my mental background. Why did God make me an outcast and a stranger in my own house? It's as if no one hears my voice as my cries ring out, or my unavailing beating palms against the stone. Yet my understanding of the double consciousness is what moves me along. To be a poor man is hard, but to be a poor race is harder. Determination is brought us far, but perseverance will take us farther. So let's rejoice in the good, like the college student that made it out the hood, or the father that stays with his child and the teenage girls that aren't running wild, the single mother that kept her son out the gang, or the boy that decided to get his education in our vain. Let's give it up for those who see the youth and the future that may be bright, and not only things in a negative light. Let's give it up for those who carried us to acknowledge to come help the strugglers to make it to college. Let's give it up for those. Let's give it up for those who give it their heart, not only their wealth. Let's give it up for those who give it a bit of themselves. So I stand up and I stand out and I speak my piece. And here today, I encourage you to do the same thing, because I simply took a look at the reality going on around me. A chick in my class said that Africa was a country. And they say that knowledge is key. So ignorance can't be bliss. And we get rude awakenings all the time that racism still exists, whether or not they want to admit. Obama's nomination shocked the nation, and people's true colors began to show. The Pure Power Patriots Fund, one of the strongest races, and this is something that we all know. Oh, how far we've come, yet so far to go.
It's the history of iniquity. Yes, the history. Sorry, y'all. It's the morning time, y'all.